vintage Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee collectibles, and it's coming right up. Now before I begin this Enter the Dragon collectibles special, I do want to correct something that I mentioned a few videos ago. It was the one that I put out on the 12 weeks in Hong Kong collectible that was put out by Red Lizard at the time. But also I wanted to give a shout out to someone who played a big part of producing that collectible, and his name is David Tadman. And recently I had a conversation with David, and I apologize for not mentioning him. He was the original historian who actually found the photos and put that whole project together and in motion, and then we were able to come out with that beautiful set called 12 Weeks in Hong Kong. He actually would visit John Saxon's home. He discovered the photos and was able to put that beautiful set together. So David Tadman, apologize I didn't mention that on the episode last time. It was wonderful having a conversation with you. And again, I want that exclusive with you when I visit California next on Bamboo and Dragons, which I know you mentioned is in the works, and you are putting that out as a documentary and the book fashion. So can't wait to meet you in person, and more to come. Stay tuned, guys. Hey guys, Charles Damiano back from the Bruce Lee Collection for another exciting episode. On this episode, I'll be focusing on a couple of my vintage Bruce Lee collectibles from Enter the Dragon, of course, because it's my favorite movie, from the early 1970s. And I'm going to share these with you today, starting with my beautiful, in near mint condition Bruce Lee novel that came out back in the day. And this novel was put out by Warner Brothers back in 1973. I have it in near mint condition. I was fortunate enough to pick this up back in the day. It's simply incredible. The front cover says Kung Fu Killers on the Loose, a dynamic novel by Mike Rote. Now an action-packed movie, original screenplay by Michael Allen. Now Enter the Dragon was released August 19th, 1973. I remember like it was yesterday. I was 14 years old. It was playing at the Academy of Music, and that's when I first saw the movie back with my friends, and I was simply blown away seeing Bruce Lee on the big screen in that movie. So I picked this book up that same year, probably from a bookstore. I remember Strand Bookstore on 12th Street and Union Square used to have all the newest books out, vintage books, old books, current books, and I believe I picked this up there at the time. Simply incredible. I just love this. Do you have this in your collection? Let me know. It's a very vintage piece. Like I said, 1973 came out, and it's simply amazing. Let's hear from you guys. Let me know if you have this in your collection. The next item I like to share with you guys is a beautiful Enter the Dragon record that I picked up back in the day as well. And this one is a promotional copy. Now, promotional copies mean this is what they used to promote the movie or the album back in the day. So this one on it says promotional copy on the label of the record, and this is the front cover, same on the back cover. Got mine in near mint condition once again. The record also is in mint condition. I don't believe I even ever played the record, but they used to send this to the different radio stations and distributors at the time to help promote not only the record but the album as well. So let me know if you have this in your collection. Also very vintage, came out in 1973. Love owning this in my collection. Take pride and joy in it, and I had it, like I said, in the collection for over 50 years now. So that's the second piece I wanted to share with you guys. Simply amazing. And then the third piece is I want to show you guys a couple of albums that I picked up on Enter the Dragon back in the day as well. And you know, it was always fun going to the album stores like R&J Music World back in the day. Crazy Eddie used to flip through all the album bins, which today is a lost art, although vinyl is coming back. And I picked these up back in the record and album stores back in the day. So first one I'd like to share with you are my Enter the Dragon albums. Now I have quite a few of them because you know, I was a big collector even early on when I was 14, 15, 16 years old as a kid, and this also came out in 1973. It was one of the most amazing albums. The music on it is simply incredible. You know, the composer was Lalo Schifrin, who was the same music composer of the soundtrack that you heard in Mission Impossible. Really upbeat music, just an incredible composer, and he's the one that composed all the music on this. The sad thing is that, you know, when Bruce Lee passed away, I heard he did see Enter the Dragon, and he gave it the thumbs up, the stamp of approval, but he didn't see it with the music. He saw it without the music added in at that time, which then he shortly passed away, and they added in the music from this incredible album later on. And he still loved the movie, and I think he realized it was one of his best works at that time when he did view the movie back in the early 70s before his passing on July 20th, 1973. So this is one of the albums. I do have a few of these albums. I have another one here in even better condition than the first. And then the nice thing is I actually kept this one, which is actually still sealed in its original casing, so it's never opened, which actually increases the value of these albums. Let me know if you have these albums in your collection. I have two that are opened and that were played, and I also have one that is completely sealed, still in the wrap from back in the day. Chime in, leave it in the comments. Let me know if you have these albums in your collection. Love to hear from you. And then some of the other albums that I have, now these are called promotional copies. And the difference between a promotional copy, and you can see it says here, promotional copy not for sale. And then what they used to do with promotional copies is these you couldn't pick up in the stores. These they sent to the different record houses at the time, who would play the album, give it airtime, and it was a way to promote the album. And they also sent it to different distributors at the time to see if they wanted to carry the album in their stores. And this was a way that they marketed the album back in the day, and it helped push the album and the sales of the album to the general public. So I have a few promotional copies here as well. I have one, as you can see, promotional copy, not for sale. Two, makes it a little bit more rare than the original album because you really, like I said, couldn't pick these up in stores. And three, so if any of you like to pick up one of these copies, either the promotional album or the record album, I do have one available of each. Let me know. You can email me at cdbrlee@aol.com. We could discuss the details, and you can add one of these beautiful either promotional albums, regular albums, or both to your collection. So again, a beautiful, beautiful piece. Chime in on the comments below. Let me know if you have the album or the record in your collection. And then one of the other albums I want to talk about is a funny story, because I actually have this one, which is my fourth album. It's not a promotional album. It's one of the regular albums that came out from Enter the Dragon at the time. But when I went to the Chiller Convention, which is a comic book and convention where all the stars that used to play in different movies would go to and do autograph signing there back in the day, and it's still going on to this day, the Chiller Convention. Bob Wall was at that convention, and I was able to get him to sign my album. So this one is actually signed by Bob Wall, but there's a funny story behind this album, because when I went up to him to have him sign it, he probably forgot my name because I introduced myself. I said, hey, my name is Charles. I'd love to get this album signed. And we got into talking. I started asking him a couple of questions about how it was playing with Bruce on Enter the Dragon, and he raved about Bruce Lee at the time. And so when he actually got to sign my album, because he was signing so many pieces of memorabilia for different fans at the time, he took mine and he signed it, and he started writing on it. I'm like, well, what is he writing? And I gave him a silver marker, and he wrote, instead of my name Charles, he wrote Scott. And when he handed it back to me, I said, Bob, I said, my name is not Scott, it's Charles. And he goes, oh, I'll fix it. And he wrote on the album, Scott, you are not, however, you are Charles, Bob Wall. So I thought it was funny. My friend Hector was cracking up at the time, and he said, Charlie, man, you have a really special album because it's actually more, it's different. It's more of a one-off sign this way than if he just signed it Bob Wall. So there's an actual funny story behind it. So I'm glad to have it in my collection. I wish it was just said to Charles from Bob Wall, but it does. He tried to fix his error and he wrote, Scott, you are not, however, you are Charles, from Bob Wall. So do have his signature on this album. Unfortunately, Bob Wall passed away a number of years ago. Another great that we lost from the movie Enter the Dragon, in addition to Jim Kelly, John Saxon, and of course Bruce Lee, and a number of others, because as we know, this movie was put out back in '73, so now going on 52 years ago. So a lot of the original cast have passed away since that time. There are still some around to this day, like Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, the beautiful Angela Mao, and probably a few others that I can't remember at this time. But that's another one of my Enter the Dragon pieces. Hope you enjoy this. This one is signed by Bob Wall. And then the last piece I like to talk about, which I picked up 25 years later, is this beautiful Laserdisc, and it was put out by Warner Brothers back in 1998 in celebration of the 25th anniversary of Enter the Dragon. And it says that on here, 25th anniversary, and it's a widescreen special edition Laserdisc Enter the Dragon. And a nice thing about this is I do still have this sealed as well. You know, Laserdiscs didn't last very long back in the day, so I never bought a Laserdisc player. You know, right after Laserdiscs, they came out with DVDs, which, as we know, is still around till this day. Laserdiscs are very short-lived, but I'm glad I have this sealed. Has a great cover of Bruce Lee on the back in the brown kung fu suit that he wore in Enter the Dragon. And obviously they kept true to the movie poster. They made it a little bit more modern. They gave it some kind of rays shooting out from the original movie poster, which I simply love. And again, it's from 1998. Let me know if you have this in your collection. I have mine sealed, still in the seal wrap, which makes it more valuable than if you opened it, played with it, because it's in mint condition. So love to hear from you. Leave it in the comments. Do you have any of these beautiful vintage Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon items that we went over today? Love to hear from you. And if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed, please give the video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an episode such as these. And once again, Charles Damiano signing out from the Bruce Lee collection, saying have fun collecting, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.